Waltrip and Alan Kulwicki leading this.
Oh,
look at
Earnhardt got sideways. Somebody looked like made some contact.
Uh-oh, we've got a problem.
Contact here, for sure. Darrell Waltrip and Joe Rutten. Waltrip car gets on his roof and over and over.
Darrell Waltrip tumbling down the backstretch in what appears to be a very, very serious crash.
That we see Darrell. He's down on the inside of Kulwicki. And Joe Rutten right behind him. Now here comes Earnhardt. Looks like someone had tapped him. But Kulwicki came down and touched Darrell.
Threw him back into Rutten.
Rutten gets in the side of him. And here's the road they hit.
Yep. When he hits the road, it gets him airborne, and the car starts over. Of course, he was being pushed by the car number 75. That was just a circumstance there.
There was certainly nothing aerodynamic that caused that crash when they went over that paved road, which is part of the road course.
And here's trouble on the front straightaway. Big time trouble. It's Rick Mast on his roof.
Upside down. Rick Mast skating into the infield. The yellow flag across by the start-finish line directly in front of us. Rick Mast getting in the wall, the tri-oval area. He has slid about 1,000 feet. And the car coming to rest directly below us. Rick Mast had been in 11th position when this incident took place.
Okay, there's Buddy Baker down on the inside of him, and Buddy touches him. Buddy Baker does indeed touch Rick Mast, gets him sideways. There's Mark Martin right behind him. And you see when he comes down off of that banking, the air gets under it. That left a big space there that the air could get under it, flip him up on the roof. There's Joe Rutten coming up on him. He slides up to the high side of the racetrack on his roof, touches the outside wall, slams into there, and Rick, he said, where am I? He's got to wonder where in the world he is. And then he just slides all the way down the track for several hundred yards. And the safety crew is there with him now as we see his car continue to slide down off of the racetrack. Fortunately, everybody else got by, did not hit him.
Oh, and he's upside down. Into the guardrail, side over side, end over end, and Davey Allison has experienced a horrifying crash. So let's take a look at it again. It happened outside of turn 2.
See some contact between Darrell Waltrip and Davey Allison, and the car just flew through the air.
Well, it got on the air, in the air very quickly.
It goes over the top of the guardrail.
Yep.
Flipped right over the top of the guardrail.
A while ago, we saw Jarrett and Earnhardt were capable of pull away a little bit. They're trying to bring it in.
Trouble behind. Rusty Wallace is turning over.
Rusty Wallace 20 feet in the air, spinning, crashing.
Well, I'll tell you, when they're running that close together and jockeying around position, you just know that things like this are going to happen. There it is again.
Another angle. Looks like Derek Cope was involved.
Yeah, he clipped the 30 car of Michael Waltrip. They got together.
And as you watch that, it reminds me a bit of the late Connie Saylor, who passed away just a week ago. Remember when he sailed down the backstretch, Ned? What a great racer he was, and died of cancer this past week. But he had an incident similar, except he went the whole backstretch upside down. Connie greatly missed here.
Let's see, there's the 30 car. It's hard to tell. They were so close together. Anyway, the 30 and the 66 go over, tag Rusty. Watch the car. The minute the air gets under, inverted wing up in the air.
You know, I think from the blimp we may get it. I think that is where you're going to see it. Look at this Wallace car just disintegrating.
Jimmy Spencer is second. They come through the tri-oval. Checkered is waving. Ernie Irwin wins, and Rusty spins and gets airborne and flips wildly right at the start-finish line. Very reminiscent of his accident at Daytona.
What a way.
Yeah, he's moving. I see him moving around in the car.
Right out the picture, and it looks, there he is. Earnhardt right up on the back bumper of Rusty, and he does touch him.
That's
and
why
around he goes. And that's one reason that Dale Earnhardt went down there.
That's why he was so concerned, because he touched Rusty Wallace to start this situation, it looks like.
And the car overturns about 6 or 7 times, pirouetting on its nose, end over end, side over side, comes to a rest on its wheels between the start-finish line and turn 1.
Got one upside down.
2 cars in the wall, one sliding down the banking on its roof.
Now it's turning over.
Richard Lassiter.
Car slid a long way on its roof.
but held up. I'll show you what happened here. Oops.
Oh, he seemed just turned out. Looked like got in the outside wall sideways.
And there was Lassiter. Right in the front of him, sliding up high as Jim Bound goes sliding through the infield. Down in that Lux Foods Chevrolet, owned by his dad.
Dale Jarrett's car had a lot of damage. There was Mark Martin coming backwards.
And there's Lassiter. Grinding along on the roof, much like Phil Parsons did here several years ago. And when he hit down to the apron.
And Doug, there's a water bottle. It looks like, you know, his thermos bottle, something coming out the window. Hard to tell what it was. I mean, that's plenty violent, but nothing like it could have been.
Take a look at what happened here that's brought out the second caution of the day.
There's Stanley Smith in the middle in the black car. They were running 3 abreast going into that turn, Ken. There's the car number 1 of Rick Mast.
There is one car that has gone over the wall, as you see in that. One's car was involved. The Richie Petty car was involved. And there are the remains of the car that went over the wall.
And it looks like someone standing there with a helmet, Ken.
And got out of that.
Let's hope that is the case. The helmet goes off. And boy, if that's the case, that is very, very good news.
Yellow is back on the track. We got a major crash through the tri-oval. Car on fire coming to the line right here in front of us. It's Ted Musgrave's car, front and rear. And Bonnet's car is also involved in the incident.
Wow, his car gone upside down.
Into the catch fence went the Neil Bonnet, car number 31. From inside of Bonnet's car.
All right.
Neil Bonnet, okay.
Picked up where he left off before. One car spinning, the car number 41.
Johnny Benson. And the car takes a roll as it slid backwards.
Here again is what happened.
It looks like he might have been tagged by a car, Jared. There was a pack of cars running together, and then it gets backwards, and you see the spoiler sticking up there. The air gets under it and lifts the back end up, and then it just starts rolling over in the grassed area on the backstretch here at the Michigan International Speedway. Fortunately, it does not get over into that guardrail, but that's a pretty serious-looking crash, but it lands on its wheels.
Derry Cope has gone up over the tire barrier, up over a bank, and the Finger Hut Ford.
Oh, my goodness.
That is a wild ride. Let's see what happens.
Well, it was side by side with John Krebs.
Oh.
John Krebs goes, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Out through there in front of Derry Cope.
And the car overturned several times, so our concern isn't about Derry Cope. He's okay. Our concern is John Krebs.
Comes to rest on his side.
Glen, there were 3 wide battling down the front straightaway, and Jack's car got tipped sideways. When he got the truck straightened out, it headed right for the pile of tires that line the inside of the quarter-mile track here. It climbed the tires, did a Bigfoot-style jump 30 feet in the air and came down and rolled up onto its side.
You see, he's already hit the tire. You see the tire there, right at the bottom of your screen. That's what he hit that catapulted him up in the air. Look how gently the thing just sat right over on its side.
A 5-car draft. They're trying to break away. Everybody else is trying to find a place in line. And big trouble in the air. Goes Mark Martin on his roof. No, that is not. It is Ward Burton, excuse me. Jim Bound is in the wall. Phil Parsons has spun. Tommy Houston spins.
You look back in there, oh, I see what happened. He got a tap. Ward got hit by Johnny Benson, I think it is. And that's
the flat part of the racetrack. When he made the come back up on the racetrack, it flipped right up. The nice part of this, the car stayed on the roof. It did not start tumbling.
Right.
And everybody scatters.
Rodney Combs got in it there. You see the 43.
Yeah, it's just hard to take the evasive out. You never know which way to go. You don't know to go low. You don't know to go high. You can't hit the brakes. If you do, you crash.
And Rick Wilson.
Oh,
no.
Oh, no.
And tumbling goes Randy LaJoy over the hood of the 92 Larry Pearson. Middle of your your screen?
Right here.
Up there into Rick Wilson. Is that Rick Wilson?
That's Rick Wilson on the outside.
And he's
See
going
it
up,
start
up,
breaking
up.
loose
Yeah.
right there. The back end starts around.
That's classic. Pulled the air off of my spoiler right there.
Look at Johnny Benson here. How in the world did he get by this?
And Labonte turns around.
Oh, Terry.
Off of Elton Sawyer, and up goes Randy LaJoy.
I didn't even see Terry in that. Boy, look at that 6 car. I mean, it's going for a ride.
There's Reiser and Pearson.
The 47 there is Jeff Fuller. You see him coming around right now. Okay, the car is starting to wiggle just a little bit there. It's getting loose. Right now, you see the back end starting around on the car. As he comes around, everybody behind him is just a victim.
Except Benson, who is close enough to get through. And you see Sawyer get into Labonte, turn Labonte, and up and over goes LaJoy. Reiser hits the outside wall. So does Pearson. Reiser spins Fuller around, and Labonte goes straight back into the outside wall.
Boy, just about like running an event in a pizza oven, and there's
a spin. There's trouble.
Car upside down. Schrader's number 25, side over side, end over end. Another car in trouble and also getting airborne.
Terry Labonte is involved. His car spinning around on the grass.
Here you see Gordon in the 24.
Okay, he comes up and clips Ken Schrader, his teammate, and sends him around. Schrader's car going backwards. The roof flaps are up, and then he gets hit by Ricky Craven, and then that flips the car over.
He just drove in under him and turned it over.
And then other cars coming back with all the smoke and people slowing down. They start hitting each other, and lots of cars getting involved as we see Schrader's car continue to roll and tumble on the grass.
One truck hard into the tire wall, coming out of turn 10 and headed.
He's out of here.
For 11.
That truck went out of the course. Look at him stuck on the wall there.
Yes, indeed it did. That is turn 10. That's the fastest corner on the course.
Ray Daniels, rookie in the Truck Series, and the officials are quickly to his aid, and he is out of here.
Mike, that's right over going down to that fastest part that Dorsey talked about. We got a replay of it coming up.
He just got in way too hot. You see now he's in the gravel, no way to stop that truck. It hits the tire wall, climbs it, gets into the fence, and almost into the parking lot on the back.
Big flip, big roll.
That's Bobby Hillen in the car 77 down on the inside. It looked like he and Brett Bodine got together. Here comes Bobby Labonte. He's going to hit the Brett Bodine car, roll over on his top, slide down the track on his top, then it'll flip back onto the wheels.
That had to be an eternity for Bobby Labonte. You could see him lock it up in the 18 and try to fight his way to the bottom to get out of this mess. And that's the result.
Okay, Martin goes a little high there. Gordon gets into him. They both have to back off, and then the jamming up starts, and they get into the wall on the outside. Others start jockeying around. There's Derek Cope. He thought he got through that for just a moment, but Mark Martin's going to come right back up in front of him. And is that Ricky Craven?
Yes, it is.
Ricky Craven in car number 41 that's flipping over, went up against the outside wheel fence, back down on the track, and was hit again.
Yeah, he got hit again as the car was rolling toward the apron of the racetrack. And you can see Craven's car overturn there and fly up and then down the banking with several cars underneath as the car overturned in the air and came to the rest of the
bank. 5 cars went underneath him as when he hit that outside wheel fence on top of the cement wall, and it threw it back across the racetrack, crossed over 5 cars.
Trouble turn 1, one car sliding on its roof toward turn 2. That is Shane Hall.
Shane Hall, Mike Laughlin Jr.'s in it. His car seems to be okay.
And he is okay.
That's what happened, Bob.
Well, Glenn, it was really a simple deal. I mean, I come together with another truck and spun up the banking, and I figured we'd just back in the wall and probably need a rear clip, but all of a sudden the truck, I didn't even realize it, but I flipped over, and when the first flip, I couldn't even tell I was slipping. And then the second time I realized what was going on, but apparently the truck got on top of the wall and dug in, actually tore a section of the wall right out and dug in and rolled it over and pretty much destroyed that truck, that Dodge truck.
Yep.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, Todd Bodine.
Ooh,
Bad one.
bad.
Lap 109.
Just really jockeying for position here, trying to make a move to the inside to get underneath Sachs so he could get the lead, and just lost it.
He might have had a little bit of a tap from LaJoy there from the back. I don't know. We'd have to look at it.
Look at it again.
Angle. But he shot out of there pretty quickly.
He did. I think that they both were making the same move, I think.
Another angle may tell us the story there.
Okay,
there
here
you
he
see
comes.
LaJoy.
Yes, right there, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Didn't take much.
Yeah.
Because he was making that left-hand turn anyway, and just a little bit of a nudge. And look, up in the air it goes, back down. It was similar to Bill Elliott's accident here when it went up in there and came back down and broke the femur.
On the inside and Sterling Marlin outside.
And Ernie going with Earnhardt down on the inside. That's going to hit. Oh, he touched trouble.
Terrible crash. Front of the field all torn up. Earnhardt's number 3, and they're going to cut him out of the car. And Earnhardt is on his feet. Dale Earnhardt attempting to walk to the ambulance. Never doubt that cliche about Dale Earnhardt. One tough customer.
It's a problem.
Oh, there's trouble. Car out of control all the way up and over is the number 29.
Robert Presley.
Around goes Presley, and he picks it up.
Wow, that had to be a
Robert Presley in an Oh My Heart ride.
Took Scooby-Doo for a ride, didn't he? Here goes the pass. Gordon making a move on the inside of Earnhardt. Oh, Jarrett's loose.
Down the back straightaway. Big trouble. Earnhardt out. Up and over number 3. And for the 19th time, Lady Luck deals a bad hand.
Well, you can see him coming off. That's Jeff Gordon right under Earnhardt. Earnhardt gets into the outside wall, moves over in traffic there. Everybody checked up. There's contact from the car just behind him.
Dale
Jarrett got into him just a little bit. You can see Ernie Irvin there slamming into the outside wall.
And going under him.
Crash and fire on the racetrack.
And we see him back at the very end of the screen. Right there. Right there is the white car. And Spencer sideways, and Steve Grissom trying to dodge Spencer. Just all of a sudden, boom, and look at the car go up in the air. That's the Mike Skinner car. Yep. Mike Skinner and Steve Grissom tried to dodge Skinner. I mean, the 23 car of Spencer. And look, there's the gas tank.
Yes.
Hang on a second. I'll show you this gas tank, folks, as it goes across the racetrack. Right up there is the gas tank.
And it makes contact. It impacts the wall and then splits open, and the fire begins.
I think other cars will go through there, and the exhaust is going to ignite. There we see that car. That's Mike Wallace's Spam car. Goes through the gasoline and ignites it as it goes through.
And there's Kenny Wallace as he goes through also. May have made contact there with Grissom's car as it still has not stopped rolling or pirouetting.
He might also tell you that the 37 car of Jeremy Mayfield. Oh, my goodness, we've gone through. Big crash. A car upside down here on the main straightaway.
Keep going, keep going.
And the track looks to be blocked. Well, there is one lane. The cars are going by there. There's Brett Bodine's involved.
Bobby Hamilton, Derek Cope.
Hutch Strickland gets going. Bobby Hamilton gets going again.
Now there appears to be a fire on the 96 car.
Here we see David Green, the cat car, coming off the corner. And Derek Cope loses control. He goes up, slams in the 96 car,
hard blow to the wall. He gets up on his roof, slides down the racetrack, and somewhere about here it's going to go back on its wheels. There it goes over and on its wheels.
Starting 17th. The Napa Chevrolet has been behind the curveball ever since Friday's practice session when the driver of the number 16 truck took a hard crash into the wall at the styrofoam, through the sand traps, rolling the truck several times, destroying the primary vehicle. The same ribs that Hornaday cracked back at Orlando are bruised again. He's very sore. They've worked on him with a chiropractor. They've also taken a wrap and tied him up as tight as he can. He says he's going to go the distance.
Was on the low side coming from turn 2, and around goes Earnhardt, up in the air and over. Both cars land on their wheels, but Trickle and Earnhardt Jr. go for a wild ride down the back straightaway of Daytona between Dick Trickle, the orange car, and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
There's the orange car of Dick Trickle. And you can see Trickle, he must have gotten hit from behind and shot right straight into Earnhardt's car. And you see Earnhardt's car lift, sets back down on the hood of Dick Trickle's car, then comes back down on its wheels.
Car slides up, and there's an accident, but Spencer, huge accident in turns 3 and 4.
Stan Barrett's in the front.
One car upside down. LaJoy. That is Randy LaJoy, the defending series champion, as he slides down on his roof in the Fina Chevrolet.
That many of the teams were able to stop. Others, however, weren't able to. Jimmy Foster with the number 50. He sees others beginning to spin and slow down. Dave Blaney and Shane Hall all ready together, and there came Tim Fedua. A hard hit. He ends up on his roof. Every driver is fine, but many teams had to go to their backup cars, and many just failed to qualify.
And a big...
Oh, trouble. Oh, and one car upside down.
Casey Atwood. And sliding through the grass, Kenson.
White
is around.
White and yellow flag.
Atwood's car is destroyed.
Andy Hillenberg gets in the back of him, and he gets into the outside wall. You can see the 18 car there. The hood's all torn up on it where he got in the back of Casey Atwood.
Goes right up and almost over Mike McLaughlin.
Comes back down on the back end and then back to the front end.
There goes the radiator and the springs.
Now the good part is that probably looks really bad to the racing fan, but it's sliding on the roof. That's where all the roll cage is. It does not start turning over until it scrubs off a tremendous amount of speed. Now watch him when he hits the grass here. It'll turn over several times there, but the speed is down where it's not like 190 miles an hour crash.
Car spinning up into the wall mid-pack.
Dale Jarrett, one of them.
Mark Martin is in it. Elliott Sadler, the rookie, and car spin.
See Terry Labonte.
Steve Park is in there, 99.
Jeff Burton, yeah.
Well, that showed you which car was upside down.
Brother.
That's Steve Park. This is at the exit of turn number 2.
I think that's where Richard Petty hit the wall here a few years ago.
It sure is. Yep. It's a full course caution. First time this afternoon. Comes on lap number 25. Ooh, Park is way up on the tires and the barriers.
Steve Park is going to get him to watch as he backs in the fence.
Overturns completely in the air, comes down on all 4.
Looks like those guys at the X Games, the way they do those skates.
On the wall here is Ken Schrader. Just like the one car.
Oh, he
stays on the roof.
Yeah. Steve Park landed on all 4s, but Schrader is upside down in exactly the same area of the racetrack that Steve Park had his crash early on. Again, it's just about the same type of crash. He goes over once, 1.5 times, and then rolls back on the hood.
All that skirmishing left a clear path for Jarrett on the outside.
Oh, trouble.
Rudd in the wall hard. Schrader in the wall hard. Jarrett the winner, Gordon second, and Rudd on his roof for the second time in the Bud shootout, reminiscent of 1984 when his car tumbled in the air. That's Rudd on the bottom in the black car.
Bobby Labonte in the green car on the outside gets touched right there. You see him get crossed up and across into Rudd, turns him sideways. See Sterling Marlin, he makes evasive action there. He was also involved in that.
And all three drivers are now just passengers.
Whoa! Oh, look out! We got trouble. This is going to hurt. Oh, my. Oh, my.
Yep.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Coming through the tri-oval.
Jeff Green gets a little assistance there from behind, and you can see the car just lifting off the ground right there. It rolls several times here, but you notice the part that he's in does not really hit the racetrack. Okay, they're just now coming in the dogleg. Right here, they make contact. You can see him getting sideways right there. Now watch the car just lift right off the ground about here and starts to fly. I can tell you those cars on the outside, they're going, let me get by, and everybody missed him as he slides across there.
We're under caution at Daytona. Michael Waltrip has just taken a stinging sidewinder flyer from the tri-oval down toward turn one. One car got in the back of him, and he went for a ride, and he's climbing out okay. He's going to get a tap here, Ned, as he comes off the tri-oval down on the inside of the racetrack.
Right there, he gets touched right there. Now this car goes way up in the air. When it turns around, you see it start to fly there. Turns completely up and pancakes right down on the roof.
That's what did all that roof damage you were talking about. Then it goes into a barrel roll.
Side over side, many, many times. Now it's on the nose of the car and then hits hard on the back.
That looked much like Ricky Rudd's flip here in 1984 in what was then the Busch Clash.
We got, oh my, Ryan McGlynn has tagged the inside barriers on the backstretch, bringing out our fourth caution. Let's get a look at it here. Oh my.
Man,
he rolled it.
He got upside down. He got clear into the inside of the truck. He hit those big tires that were protecting that inside guardrail because of the angle, and he got completely upside down. A little bit, might have been some contact there as Andy Houston might have touched him just a little bit, but he's going backwards, and he gets into those tires, and boy, that's a sudden stop. And look.
Elliott's with me now, and I'm sure you've heard the story since yesterday of one of the most dramatic incidents of the 2000 season to date. In turn one, yesterday afternoon, half hour left in the final practice. You're riding with Elliott Sadler. There's the tire blowing. There's the first time over, second, third. How many times did you go over, Elliott?
I think we ended up 12 times before it was all said and done. It's definitely the scariest time of my life, but I tell you what, the Wood brothers built me a great race car as far as being safe. NASCAR did a great job on the specs, and I'm just happy to be here with you fine people today.
Here's that qualifying lap Friday afternoon. Gets that left rear in the dirt. The Caterpillar car goes around, backs in the fence, and watch this, climbs that fence and does a slow roll over, lands on its wheels, and Ward got out, threw his helmet, and said,